Now let me discuss the other anti-malarial drug, that is quinine. Now if you take this quinine, the mechanism of action of this particular quinine is not very clear, right? It is not clear, but what has been found was the quinine, it almost has the similar mechanism of action that of the chloroquine, right? It has almost similar mechanism of action of that of chloroquine. Alright. Now what did we discuss about the chloroquine? We have discussed that the mechanism of the chloroquine was it will prevent the polymerization of the heme. Actually heme, by undergoing polymerization, it is converted into hemozoin. But what the chloroquine will do? Chloroquine will prevent the polymerization of the heme. So thereby it will increase the levels of the heme, which is toxic to the Plasmodium parasite. So almost similar is the mechanism of action even for your quinine as well. Now the very important point about the quinine is that its major use is in the treatment of Plasmodium falciparum infections, right? So the major use of the quinine is in case of in case of Plasmodium falciparum infections, right? And that too, which type of Plasmodium falciparum infections? Remember, Plasmodium falciparum infections which is resistant to chloroquine, this quinine will be the drug of choice. Okay, so Plasmodium falciparum which is resistant to chloroquine, alright, which is resistant to chloroquine, this quinine is the drug of choice for this particular organism. Next, now remember, this particular quinine most of the times it is used in combination, right? So this quinine, it is often used with either doxycycline or clindamycin. Okay, so it is often used with doxycycline or clindamycin, right? It is often used in combination with the doxycycline or clindamycin. Now what is the purpose of using this particular drug in combination? Remember, when we use this quinine in combination with doxycycline or clindamycin, that will decrease the duration of the therapy, and not only that, it will also limit the toxicity associated with the quinine. Okay, so the purpose of this particular combination is to decrease the duration of therapy, right? To decrease the duration of therapy or to minimize, right? To minimize the toxicity which is associated with the quinine. Next, now let me tell you other very important point. This quinine, it is not advocated for chemoprophylaxis, right? Remember this point, to delay the emergency of resistance, right? Already with the chloroquine there is resistant Plasmodium falciparum. So to delay the emergency of the resistance, it is not advocated for the chemoprophylaxis. So the point you should remember is to delay the emergency of resistance, this particular quinine, right, it is not given for chemoprophylaxis. Right, not given for the chemoprophylaxis. Now let me tell you some of the pharmacological points regarding the quinine. So remember, this particular quinine, it is 70% of it is bound to the plasma proteins, right? So 70% of this particular quinine is bound to the plasma proteins. Now, the multiple choice question here is, what is that particular plasma protein to which the quinine is bound? Remember, the quinine is bound especially to alpha 1 acid glycoprotein, right? So it is bound to the alpha 1 acid glycoprotein. Now, a point that you should remember here is, normally the 70% of the quinine is bound to the plasma protein, that is alpha 1 acid glycoprotein. But remember, such binding increases in acute attacks of malaria, so that patients of malaria can tolerate much higher doses of quinine than other subjects. Okay, so a point what you should remember here is, so during acute attacks, the binding of quinine with plasma protein increases during the acute attacks, so that the patients of malaria can tolerate much higher doses. Alright, can tolerate much higher doses of quinine than other subjects. Now, you take this quinine, it is having one of the D isomer. So if you take the D isomer of quinine, remember the D isomer of quinine is your quinidine, right? The D isomer of the quinine is quinidine. This quinidine, it can be used intravenously for severe Plasmodium falciparum infections, right? So it is used intravenously for severe Plasmodium falciparum infections. Alright, next. The other point is, this particular quinine can cause hypoglycemia, which is manifested by the sympathetic manifestations. That includes palpitations, sweating, and as well as tachycardia. So you need to monitor the blood glucose level when the patient is on this quinine. So the adverse effect of this particular quinine is, it can cause hypoglycemia, right? It can cause hypoglycemia, and this hypoglycemia, this is manifested in the form of, right, this manifests in the form of palpitations, this manifests in the form of sweating, and as well as in the form of tachycardia. Alright, as well as in the form of tachycardia. So this will be the features of hypoglycemia. Now, so what is being done is, now to prevent hypoglycemia, right, this quinine or this quinidine, it will cause the hypoglycemia. So to prevent hypoglycemia, the intravenous infusion of the quinine should always be given in 5% dextrose solution, right? Rather than giving the quinine in normal saline, you give quinine in 5% dextrose solution. So that will prevent this particular hypoglycemia. So this quinine is given in 5% dextrose solution, right? So why is this given in case of 5% dextrose solution? Mainly to prevent the hypoglycemia. Now, the other important adverse effects, if you see, remember at toxic doses, this particular quinine will cause what is called as the synchronism. So this particular quinine at toxic doses, right, at toxic doses, this will cause what is called as synchronism, right? This will cause what is called as synchronism, and this particular synchronism, whichever will occur, this will manifest in the form of the following symptoms. So if you take the clinical features of this particular synchronism, this includes gastrointestinal distress, this includes vertigo, right? This includes vertigo. And next, the other important feature is the presence of the blurred vision. Next, you can also have headache, and the other one is the ringing sensation within the ear, and that is called as tinnitus, right? That is called as tinnitus. So this will be the clinical features of this particular synchronism. Now, the other important point regarding this particular quinine is the other adverse effect associated with that is, as such it will cause hypoglycemia. Toxic doses it will cause synchronism. Now, the other adverse effect is it can also cause the cardiac conduction abnormalities, right? It can also cause cardiac conduction abnormalities. All right. Next, the other important thing is whenever you are giving quinine, right, you need to see whether the patient is having any G6PD deficiency or not. So remember, this particular quinine, it will cause the hemolysis in G6PD deficiency patients. All right. Next, the other important point regarding the quinine is that, remember, according to the WHO guidelines, the quinine is safe in pregnancy and can be used for severe or chloroquine resistant malaria. All right. So according to the WHO guidelines, remember, this particular quinine is safe in pregnancy, right? It is safe in pregnancy. And the other thing is, this particular quinine, it can also be used for severe or the chloroquine resistant malaria. Right, chloroquine resistant malaria. Okay, so that is about the quinine. So the important adverse effects of the quinine include hypoglycemia, and at toxic doses it will cause synchronism, and the features of the synchronism includes gastrointestinal distress, vertigo, blurred vision, headache, and as well as tinnitus. And it can also cause the cardiac conduction abnormalities, and in G6PD deficiency patients it will cause hemolysis. And according to the WHO guidelines, this quinine is safe in pregnancy and it can be used for severe or the chloroquine resistant malaria.